Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this week's Market Outlook from XNES. Here we're looking at a potential idea for a trade over the next few days, some of the narratives behind that position, and what traders who were to take the position would need to be aware of. But first, let's look back at what happened with last week's idea. Last week, the idea from the Market Outlook was a potential buy for gold after the price retraced to 1,900. And that was more or less accurate. The price retraced to just very slightly above 1,900 and then bounced intraday quite strongly back to around 1924 and 1923. So for this week's idea, I'm Michael Stark, Financial Content Manager at XNES, and joining me is Stanislav Bernichov, Trading Specialist. Thanks very much, Stan, for joining us to give the idea.
Hello, Michael. Thank you for having me today.
What's the idea for a trade for this week, Stan? What are you looking at?
Okay, let's see. I'm thinking potentially of the short for Ethereum versus American dollar as shown here on this chart. So we see that it's building the reversal formation, which we know as head and shoulders, and it has been aggressive in January, but it was not able to take the level of 1,600. Now it's leaning back to the neckline of this formation, and in case it's broken, it can slide down towards 1,400. Well, it looks as if cryptos were ready to rotate, so they have been quite aggressive and quite optimistic in January, but this is a new month, new data comes in, and I won't be surprised if I see it going back to the mean or to the average.
And over the next few days, we've got quite a large number of events that are coming out. Could you highlight what are the most important things that traders, if they were to take this trade, should be aware of and should monitor?
Sure, of course, it's publication of interest rate in the United States and the press conference that follows. We know that it will be one-step hike, so markets are predicting the interest rate fairly well. However, the most intrigue, of course, is the press conference. When Jerome Powell holds a speech, traders want to figure out whether his tone is hawkish, neutral, or dovish. Well, let's not forget that Fed still fights the inflation, so they still raise interest rates. So there is a big chance that the tone will be relatively hawkish. And with that, of course, we might see some correction for American dollar, treasury yields, and as a result, a slight decline for stocks and for cryptocurrencies.
Okay, thanks very much, Stan. So in summary, the idea for a potential trade this week is a sell of Ether, which might take the price down to around 1,400 based on the recent pattern of the head and shoulders. The primary narrative that's driving that potential move down by Ether is a potential rotation away from crypto as the Fed continues to hike rates, and in general as there aren't any negative rates anymore. What traders really need to be aware of this week is the press conference of the Federal Open Market Committee, particularly how hawkish the comments by Jerome Powell might be, and also the job report from the USA, which is happening on Friday afternoon GMT. So thanks very much, Stan, for joining us today and for giving us this idea potentially to sell Ethereum.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good trading week, everyone.
And I would remind all our watchers and listeners, please, that this is just an idea. It's not a guarantee of success. You should always do your own research, and remember that any financial decision you make is at your own risk.